Hello, I'm Harry Watts, Director of Governmental Relations for Kansas Farm Bureau. As you all know, school funding will be a hot topic in the legislature this year, and one that Kansas Farm Bureau will be watching very closely. In Kansas, vast differences exist in population distribution and economic realities. Those differences do not always produce students with similar needs or abilities. Likewise, the cost of providing education varies drastically across the state. Kansas Farm Bureau, with members in each of its 105 counties in Kansas, has the responsibility to make sure all Kansas children receive an adequate education regardless of where they live. Governor Sam Brownback released his school finance proposal last month, and House and Senate Democrats released their plan this past Tuesday. We're examining both proposals closely to see how they compare with Kansas Farm Bureau member-driven policy. We'll have to see what forms those proposals take when they're introduced as official House or Senate bills. At this time, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what we know at this point about the governor's proposal. The governor's plan, beginning in 2013-2014, each district will receive $4,492 per child, including for kindergartners. That's the amount required by state law as a result of the 2005 school funding lawsuit. Those of you who serve on your local school boards know that the current per pupil funding is $3,780. Our policy supports adequate funding of K-12 education. Currently, all weightings under the governor's plan will be eliminated, except for special education. Kansas Farm Bureau supports weightings, specifically those for low enrollment, correlation weighting, which is now called high enrollment weightings, transportation, and vocational education. I should note that the governor released a plan this past week to fund vocational education. We'll have more on that in a future webcast. Under the governor's proposal, the mandatory 20 mills of local property tax is forwarded to the state and redistributed based on each district's property valuation. Current law allows each school district to keep the 20 mills of property tax revenue. Kansas Farm Bureau policy supports the local retention of the 20 mill property tax levy. The governor would also like to eliminate the current cap on the local option budget, oftentimes referred to as the LOB. Local boards could increase their LOB above the current rate with voter approval. KFB's policy opposes raising the LOB unless by voter approval, and discourages relying on increased property taxes to fund K-12 schools. As I mentioned earlier, we've not yet seen any legislation that would implement the governor's proposal. We're watching developments closely and are prepared to testify as soon as hearings are scheduled. We'll update you as the situation develops. Thanks.